Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us. My name is Joel, and this is the O2 Drop. You are listening to your favorite made-for-adults Pokémon VGC podcast, coming from Perth, the home of Chris.
Yes, I live in Perth. Unfortunately, it is the worst time zone to be in for Worlds because I'm looking forward to having no sleep for Worlds weekend.
Well, what is it, like a 3 a.m. kickoff?
I think
for
the
us?
stream starts at 12 a.m. in the morning, like midnight.
Yeah. It was 3 a.m. last year for Hawaii.
Nice. I'm also joined by Mark.
Hello. I'm also going to be getting no sleep for the World's weekend.
And the beautiful Ethan.
Hello, I'm Ethan and I work Saturdays.
Now, we have a very special surprise for our listeners when you're listening this morning, this evening, tonight.
You say surprises if you're not going to stick it in the title.
Of course, I'm going to stick it in the title.
Don't, it'll be funny.
we got to make sure we, hit that search engine optimization. We are joined by none other than most recent VR Tour winner, Joseph Ugarte, aka JoeUX9.
Hello. How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
No worries. Thank you so much for giving your time to us lowly Perthians.
I'll pish.
Yeah, I feel like it's really funny because I feel like very rarely do I get to interact with the Australian player base. I mean, obviously, you guys are a million miles away, so that makes a lot of sense. And without OCIC, it's like when do you get the opportunity to hang out with Australians?
I would love to come and get more players. You've been here at least twice to OCIC. You competed in 23 and 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, in 23, it was my first and only OCIC. And I think I was after round 3 or something. And I remember just turning around and staring at this person standing there. No one was talking to them at the time. I was like, I should go talk to Joe. And then I just got so starstruck for 3 minutes. And then he turned around and went off.
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Never again.
So you can.
It's all good. There's actually there's a funny story of that where in 2017, which was my first regional, Ray Rizzo is one of the last regionals he played before he moved to Japan. And basically I was my mom actually took me to the regional because I was young. I was 17, I think. And I was like, oh my God, it's Ray Rizzo. Maybe I should go up and ask him for a signature. So say hi. I just got too scared. I never asked him. And it's actually really funny because this year I had actually gone to Japan and I met up with Ray and I told him the story. I was like, oh yeah, I think it's really funny that 10 years later now we're hanging out, getting food or whatever. And then 10 years ago, I was a scared kid who didn't want to say hi or anything, so it's kind of funny.
It is. It's how the turntables.
Yeah, there's always a bigger fish, huh?
Did you try and coax Ray into maybe a comeback tour?
Yeah, so we had a conversation. I don't want to say too much because I don't know how much of it is private, but it's not like he's completely out of the loop or anything. He's keeping in touch with things. So
there's hope.
Yeah, I think he tried to qualify through the Japanese system last year or the year before or something, but reset his Switch or something was what was shared on
he
Twitter.
Changed his language. He changed his language. He changed his language of his card, and you're not allowed to do that. You can't change it from a Japanese to an English card. Otherwise, it takes away the invite.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
That is
Jesus.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, because I was talking to Gio Costa. I was talking to him because I was also talking to Thomas, who's a French player who came over there, and I was like, well, so how do you actually play in the Japanese circuit when you go there? Because it seems like it's kind of hard to sign up for, right? How would you go through all the TPC channels? So he's like, oh yeah, I just changed my cart to Japan and just started playing there and told TPCI. I was like, oh, it's that simple, huh? I was like, I didn't know you could just do that,
Wow. That's mental to know.
No, is that Thomas Gravouille?
Yeah.
Great player.
Nice. Well, Joe, we would love to get to know your introductions to Pokemon and VGC a bit better. So if we can go back to whatever ripe old age it was, how did you first get introduced to Pokemon as a franchise?
So Pokemon is a franchise. I just started playing from like a really young age. So actually, what it was my mom back. So I was in Brazil because my dad's job. He works for the Department of State, right? So in the U.S., right? So he was working at the embassy in Brazil, and we moved with him. And my mom actually got diagnosed with thyroid cancer or whatever.
Oh, shit.
And obviously it wasn't like she's fine now. She's like in remission for it. It's perfectly fine.
Amazing.
But
Good to know.
basically. When obviously like I was a kid, so I was like pretty emotional or whatever, but my mom was going back to the States, so I asked her, I was like, hey, can you please like grab me this like Pokemon game I see everyone at the schoolyard like playing, which was Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And my mom went back for the treatments, but then she brought the game back with her. And that was like my first Pokemon game, and I loved it. It was Pokemon Diamond. My first starter was Turtwig, and I had a level 100 Kadabra that I could have sworn was going to evolve through like some special means. That was level 100. I never figured it out. I'm pretty sure it's still a level 100 Kadabra somewhere on that cart, but you know, it's all good. It's part of the story.
What a great game to start on.
That's the game I started on.
Yeah.
Couldn't do better, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, hot take.
Yeah, I think it was my start as well, but yeah, it was too poor to have the first one.
I was a 90s kid. So one was like Pokemon Red from Day Dot on the Game Boy.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, I'm old.
Oh, we knew that.
Nice. And then how did Diamond and Pearl Gen 4 turn into VGC?
Oh, so actually I didn't even, so like I just kept like being a casual fan of like Pokemon games. And actually the story of how I got into VGC was definitely like very circumstantial. So basically in high school, like I guess I put it bluntly, I was kind of a shit student. I was just like not like particularly like a great student. And my dad, you know, he's a Peruvian American. So like he was definitely a little bit stricter, right? In terms of like, you know, like, oh, you need to make sure you're doing better in school, like whatever. And I think he specifically told me, he's like, over the summer, he's like, yo, I want you to like be productive. I don't want you to be like playing your PlayStation all the time. Right. And like, of course, you know, like you're a kid in high school, like I'm just going to goof off during the summer. You know what I mean? And I was playing this fighting game called Injustice 2. And I was like really into the competitive. I actually played a couple of the like online tournaments for it, and I was really into it. But then my dad, you know, like my grades were pretty bad. Like I was kind of goofing off. So like he took away the PlayStation, right? Like, you know, it was like the parent punishment or whatever. And he like forgot about the DS. So it was the only thing I had. So like I was like, oh, I guess I'll just start playing the DS again. I started playing Pokemon Sun and Moon. And then a random YouTube video hits my like YouTube, and it's like 2017 Pokemon World Championships. Or it was 2016. I think it was 2017 Pokemon World Championships. I saw it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So then I went to my first local in Brooklyn. It was King's Games. They don't exist anymore, I don't think. But it was a huge local. I had like 50 players. It was after Worlds. And I went 3-3. I loved it. And then from there, my mom actually, you know, she was really nice. She paid for me she went with me to go to Hartford Regionals in Connecticut. And we went there and I competed. I did pretty bad from what I remember. I don't think I did particularly great. But I had a lot of fun. And that's the regional actually where I was starting out with the story of like seeing Ray. That's actually the regional where I saw Ray. But yeah, after that, you know, I was like really into it. 2018, my dad took me to one in Illinois. And then after that, I was old enough and I had enough money where I started like going to these other things on my own. Right. I think actually probably in college, or like in the first year of college, right, which was like when I really got started in terms of like doing well. I was like a broke college student. My mom's honestly supported me a lot of the Pokemon way, if you think about it, because she got me Diamond, right, when she went back to the States. She paid for my Hartford trip, and then actually the first regional I won, Portland. I had no money. I was like a broke college student, right? Like I had like no money, and I was like, "Look, Mom, like I promise you, like I'm gonna win this tournament. Please, 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 can you lend me the money to go to the tournament?" Like, and I actually ended up winning and paying her back after. But like, yeah, it was like, so my mom was always taking a lot of my mom's always like, been there for me, and I do really appreciate that. It was like a big part of like, especially the early part of Pokemon for me, for sure.
You should get her to loan you money for like every regionals now. So like that's like the good luck charm.
No.
Fairy
That's like a
tale shit.
one-time thing.
It's no better motivator than potentially disappointing mum.
Yeah, well, back when you won it in like 2020, that would like the prize money would have been like the registration cost back. Like
Yeah, it would have been like $75 and half price off Carl's Jr. or something.
Yeah, it's funny. Like my mom, she loaned me like, I think it was like $600 for the flight or whatever, and like I won $1,000, so I just ended up net $300. But it wasn't about like, for me, it was never about like the money. You know what I mean? What it was for actually was a travel award, because I was in a spot for a travel award, and ever since then, because you get like $3,500 for like out of region internationals for travel awards, and that funds like basically a whole season. You know what I mean? Or like back then it funded like basically the whole travel around the States or whatever, and then one international. So it was like kind of the main thing that got me started on like what they call the snowball, right? Where I was able to keep getting the travel awards from doing well, and then from there, it's history pretty much.
The biggest thing I take away from that is imagine going to a local that has 50 players.
Yeah.
That's crazy. For years in a row, our like regionals in Perth would have been like 70 people. So like up until like the last 3 years where Perth is suddenly, we're not the smallest regional in the world anymore.
Basically, since COVID, we've had a boom.
Yeah.
And TCG gets like 50 people for locals.
Yeah, but that's TCG.
Yeah.
VGC
would be like 30.
Well, TCG is a whole nother beast, right?
Oh my God. Everywhere.
Yeah, I really want to get to an IC in the next 2 years just to like see the craziness of like 4,000 people playing TCG.
Yeah.
Sounds mental.
Jesus.
And if you want Joel to go to an IC, please subscribe for $3 American dollars a month.
Subscribe or get us O-Kick back.
No, Joel's just going to apply to be a judge there.
I was just thinking one of us should just win Melbourne. I mean, we're always talking about it.
That's true.
And then we can pay our mums back.
So 2020 Portland regional champion, right? And then normally what I do is when we get big name guests on, I look at their competitive history, talk them up a bit, read out all the events they've done well at. For you, I'm not even going to bother because there's so many of them. But I know you're a two-time.
It might take a while.
Yeah, you're a two-time Portland regional champion, so that's like kind of like your fortress. But you've also been second place at 5 regionals, 2 in 2024, 2 in 2023, and 1 in 2020. You've been top 4 in EUIC, NAIC 2022, both of them, NAIC 23, top 4 at Knoxville 2019, Salt Lake City 2022, San Antonio 23, Atlanta 25. And then I tried to count them, but I got to 23 other major events where you have been at least top cut. So at least top 32, if not top 16, if not top 8, including regionals, worlds, internats, players' cups. So you're looking at like 35 at least top cut events. Like it's just insane the career you've had, considering you started, what was your first regional event? Was it 2019?
2017.
2017. Yeah, but really locking in, we could say 2019, right? Yeah. 2017,
And considering there was like 2.5 years with no events as well. So that is like, imagine how many regionals you would have like won or top cut in 2020, 2021, 2022.
Not worth thinking about.
Just keep pressing forward.
That's it.
Do you have like a favorite event of all? I mean, obviously the regional wins are pretty special, but like, that aside, is there an event that really stands out to you as like having been the most fun or the most epic memories?
Actually, so it's going to be kind of a weird answer. So the most recent EUIC top 8 was probably like the most impactful tournament for me, but for a few reasons that like aren't exactly the normal ones. Like Pokemon, I think, is a game that's very much about like highs and lows, right? Like when you have your like big highs, you're like winning every tournament or like you're doing really well, right? Like it feels really good, right? But I think there are tournaments that sometimes like you don't do as well as you want to, or like you do well, but like you're just shy of like where you want to be, right? And I think like the reason why EUIC top 8 is so like meaningful to me is I actually played versus Terran, and I lost one of the games in the set because I just like left myself open to a critical hit, right, in one of the games. And then in game 3, I didn't trust myself to make like a play that would have just won the game on the spot, right? And the reason why that moment is really important for me is because it still showed me that like I have a ways to go, even though I'm like good at the game, right? And I think that in general, right, like when you become a really good player, right, sometimes like and it's just like human nature, it's like, oh, I'm really good, like what's ahead of me, you know what I mean, like what more can I do? But like there's always, like you guys said, there's always a bigger fish, right? And I think that honestly what I've learned is that sometimes I think it's really easy when you go to every single tournament to take certain tournaments for granted or take certain successes for granted. And I don't know, UIC, like it kind of reminded me that like, you know, like I was really close to playing Wolf in top 4. Like I really wanted to play versus Wolf and get like a run back of our Toronto set. And I actually really felt like I had a really good chance of winning EUIC, and like to be in such a good spot and then kind of throw away the opportunity a little bit, right? Like it definitely was like pretty humbling, because it's like, oh, like, yes, I can make it there and I can win, but like if I'm not careful or like I'm not on my 100% game, like I can lose that position. And like the only thing I could think of in that moment was like, oh, I really need to make sure I don't do that at Worlds. You know what I mean? So in a weird way, it's not like my most like triumphant moment ever, but it is the one that like had me thinking the most like, yes, I have the potential to like win anything I go to with the proper amount of work, but it's also about like, you know, not making the smaller mistakes. Cause I think that's really the difference. You know what I mean? There's a difference between winning everything and like doing well at everything. And I think the difference really is just like those small marginal differences, you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was a moment where you're like, we're here, we're good, but the training road is ahead of us type thing.
Pokemon is such a mental game.
Yeah.
And I mean that in every
exhausting
sense.
sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I think too, like, sometimes honestly, the most impactful moments of like Pokemon really aren't. I mean, like the highs are good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, like cutting worlds, everything are good, but like the lows, like leave a lasting impact for sure, and they like teach you a lot of good lessons. And I think that's like the most valuable part of Pokemon for me. Doesn't mean that like I'm not saying here that like I'm sitting here depressed after like every time I get knocked out or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a balance of being happy that you did well and like celebrating what you did well, but also being able to identify where you can be better. You know, that's like the big difference, I think.
Yeah, that's the mindset.
Is it like mentally sort of, does it get to you? Because there was so many times where you finished like, you know, top 2s, like you were the finalist and came second place, and other times you were in top 4, like getting so close, like so many times at major events. Like, does that start to like chew away at you, or you just sort of like happy to be doing well?
You know, not like obviously like when I look back at it in hindsight, I'm like, yo, I'm so dumb. Like I could have like won like way more regionals, you know? But I think it highlights one of my bigger weaknesses as a player, which I think is when you get to like Top Cut, right? Like the main difference is like I think I'm a really good player when it comes to like I guess general instinct. You know what I mean? Like if I'm like playing a match with like very little information besides what's presented in front of me with a short amount of time, I think I could beat like any player I play versus with like no prep time, right? And I think when there's prep time, where it can be a little bit weaker for me is like identifying certain key pieces of information. It's not that like I'm completely bad at it. Obviously, I can make good plans. Like I help seniors and juniors make plans for like these finals all the time, right? And it's something that I've worked on over time. But what I've learned is like, for example, my Sacramento finals versus Carson, right? Like the plan that I brought into him, I did get really unlucky. I missed like 3 overheats, but I didn't even think about that, right? Because the thing is like it's easy to look at a finals like that and be like, oh yeah, I missed 3 overheats, that's why I lost, right? But like I found a plan after the fact of the tournament that like was way stronger and had me winning like most of the time, right? And I was able to identify it after the tournament. But the thing is what that showed me is like, okay, I need to be a little bit more aware of like how I'm thinking about these things, because, you know, if that's World's Finals, you know what I mean? You have to be able to identify that the day before, you know what I mean? You can't be like after the World's Finals is over and be like, oh yeah, like I could have done this instead. Like that's like not good, you know? Yeah. So it's not that like it's anything like super egregious or bad, But I think every regional has taught me something different, and every event has taught me something different. So it doesn't really wear on me so much as it's something I have to improve on, right? Like in Stuttgart top 8, I actually think I had a really good chance of winning that regional, honestly, because I was pretty much dominating like most of the matches I was playing. I had just come off of like beating Alex Gomez in top 16, right? Like I was in a really good spot, and I ended up losing to the eventual champion Eden Bachelor. And like, frankly, like I just lost because I miscalculated in my head. Like I thought extreme speed wouldn't kill the Sneasler, but I thought back to it, I was like, oh, it's just straight optimal for me to extreme speed there, because if I get the kill, I just win, right? And like small things like that are like where I think as a player, like it takes you from being a like great player to like the best player. You know what I mean? Like being able to identify those small differences, like small, slightly more optimal lines. How can you like improve these little things that can like really make you better, and you kind of have to be you have to be really, really like detail oriented, I feel like, to at some point to start like improving consistently once you hit a certain level, right?
Yeah. I mean, I hear that record, and it took me back with a pang of angst and annoyance to like my baseball career, because my baseball career was like 7 grand final appearances, 2 wins, and 5 losses. And I was just like, I was just like, fuck, I was angry whenever I lost. Like that mental fortitude to be like, no, this is a learning opportunity. Man, I was just angry when I got to the final step and just missed. So
I definitely feel you on that sort of like there being levels to this shit, like you can be really, really good, but to be the best is like a whole other level of sort of self-improvement. And like, I'm a musician, so I definitely feel that to my soul.
Yeah, always looking internally, like what do I need to do to go the next step?
Absolutely. Where do you look? What do you have to learn, and how do you have to do it? Yeah.
Joe, like you were talking about like what to take away from each event and what you learned and what you can put it down to, like why you didn't win, that sort of thing. Like from like I would say like May 2023, even as recently as June this year, you've been on like a jump off run. Let's be honest. Like, jump off has come to you at so many events.
We love the pluff.
Yeah, well, are you still a jump off stan? And like, how many losses can be attributed to sleep powder misses?
See, I actually, funny enough, I don't think a single loss was because of sleep powder missing. Well, or I should say, like, yes, some games I probably lost because like sleep powder missed an important turn, but like I played myself into that position basically. Like, don't get me wrong, there are games like, okay, if you miss like 3 out of 3 sleep powders, like of course, like that's not good, right? But like, I think like generally speaking, actually, like every single event where I lost in a certain stage, I look back at it and I'm like, oh, I could have just made a better play. Because I feel like when you play, so it's actually kind of like, I don't want to say like the art of playing jump up, but basically like when you are playing like a Pokemon like that's volatile, right? Like you're basically assuming like a risk that you're willing to take, right? Yeah. You're saying, okay, I'm going to play this Pokemon. I know it's risky, so it's my job to play around like the bad outcomes of the situation. Like it's high risk, high reward, right? So essentially, like I never look at a tournament and I'm like, oh, okay, like I just got like really unlucky with jump off, and that's like all I write it off as. Like I always just look for, okay, I got unlucky here, but like what could I have done differently within the means in my control that would have allowed me to win, because that's what I always focus on with any volatile team, really. You know what I mean?
That's a good mindset.
And sometimes the answer is there's not much, sometimes the answer is there's not much, and that's okay, but even if you find like 1 or 2 plays that could be better, that's something that you can improve on and like do better next time. Right. So,
yeah, it's like when I had a Dondozo phase, my friends all shunned me for it, but like, just like,
did. To be fair, that was the only time you ever did well.
Shut up. But there were so many times, so like crucial stages, so there'd just be like this unlucky crit, and like you Donzos would go down to a crit when like, and you have to like be able to plan for that bad luck. You have to be able to, okay, if they crit and kill this turn, like what is my out? Like it is. Yeah, you've played yourself into a situation where you can lose to a crit, so it's your job to get yourself out of that situation. Yeah. So like, it's kind of, it's hard.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there's like a lot that a lot of players could learn about sort of treating hacks and bad luck as not just sort of an in the moment kind of setback, but like something that you didn't account for like 2 or 3 turns in advance. And I think that's an important mindset for a good player to have.
To be honest with you, the biggest tell for me between like whether you're going to be like a good player or like one of the best players is how you deal with like bad luck, to be honest. Whenever I talk to someone and they're like, oh, I just got super unlucky, I pulled a really bad matchup, like basically like they're putting all the blame on like anything except for themselves, right? Like that's a tell to me that like you're not going to be one of the best players, straight up, right? Like and it's not that like obviously like people with toxic mentals can do well in games for sure, right? But like it's just more so a fact of like long term, right? Like that mentality is like really harmful, I think, to like your growth as a player. If you place a lot of the blame squarely on bad luck, you're never gonna like be able to improve, or like even if you like get unlucky in a match, right, you're gonna need to be able to play around bad situations, right? So I think that's like a really important thing. And like, you know, even among the top players, right, like think of like Marco, right? Like I talked to him, and a lot of the time, like I don't think I've ever talked to him and he's been like, oh yeah, like it's just like super bad luck, that's why I lost. Like I'm pretty sure every single time, like, and don't get me wrong, he acknowledges bad luck, but like I don't think I've ever talked to him and he's been like, oh yeah, like bad luck is the only reason why I've lost, you know? So I think that's like a really important distinguishment, I think, especially with the top players, especially when you're pushing to be the best, right? You have to be pretty critical of yourself, I think, in a good way. You know?
I think that's a really awesome commentary, just I guess to counter all those you know, armchair Twitch commentators or all the people who don't really know what they're talking about, making you know, 1200 elo showdown predictions from Twitch chat, and all of them have that. It's the regular talking point of there's no being good at Pokemon, it's all luck. And I think that's
it's about maximizing your odds, though, like making the highest, like the odds in your favor in every possible, like, you know, switching out, getting like the right field positioning. It's not just luck.
That being said, there's also something we discuss a lot while talking about these things, and that, you know, if you're going to win the world championships, there's surely some degree of luck there, right? Like obviously, you know, if you're a good enough player, you can play into bad matchups.
You can't account for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But sooner or later, the person who wins the entirety of an IC or Worlds, you know, got better matchups than others and were like had, you know, things go in their favor.
Yeah.
I think actually, you know, being a good player isn't about always winning. It's about putting yourself in the best positions to win, to be honest with you. Because you can't win every tournament in Pokemon. Like you can, obviously you can be really good and like minimize luck as much as possible, right?
Yeah.
But I think that for like me, right, what Pokemon has always been about at a high level is like, obviously you can't, like, basically you have to do everything in your ability to mitigate the impact of luck on your run. Right. And like anything past that, like, yeah, sometimes I just go Crash is going to flinch you 3 times. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I like, what do you do about that?
Cry in the bathroom.
But like, exactly. But like, you know, with stuff like that, I definitely think that it's all about, you know, kind of understanding like, okay, again, like, right, like what you can control, what you can't control. There are definitely going to be issues or situations where like you get unlucky or your opponent gets really lucky and there's nothing you can do about it, right? You just have to like try and find the routes that like prevent that the most. I mean, a famous example I think a lot of people bring up is 2023 world champion Shohei Kimura. Like his run was pretty lucky, right? If you look at like his run in general, it's pretty favorable. Like what happened in the tournament, like he got a lot of Icicle Crash flinches throughout the tournament. You even look at like, you know, some of what happened in Cut, right? I think Emilio's matchup was probably way worse for Shohei than Maddie, but then the disconnect thing happened at Worlds, right? And then Maddie ended up winning in sudden death, right? So I think there's like, yeah, right. Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that there's a lot of interesting factors that like can definitely impact things. But like you said, right, like it's a game where luck is a factor. It's going to happen, you know, and I don't think that takes away from someone's accomplishments, right? Because I've definitely been like on the receiving end of like, oh, you're like really lucky. And like, you know, if you look at a player's entire career, like very rarely is someone completely luck positive, right? Like there's definitely like going to be situations where like you get super unlucky, and that's okay. I've had my shares of like bad luck. There's actually lost footage at NAIC top 4. This is actually probably like my most scarring, like unlucky moment, because I remember this. I lose to James Evans in game 2 as I'm about to win. I'm about to be in finals of the IC because I miss blades. He flare blitz crit burns my Groudon, and that's how I lose. Yeah. And then in game 3, which is lost footage, there's no recording of this because for some reason the screen's like cut out or whatever. He double Astral Barrage hits me through screens with his Calyrex. And yeah, it's just like there's no footage of this. And I remember how viscerally angry I was after that match. Like I was upset. And back then I think I had a way unhealthier relationship with the game than like what I have now. But I was so angry, you know, because like I was like, dude, like I did everything in my power. Like the game just basically was like, you know, like like, you know, shove it up like it's just shove it up yours, you know, but like basically like experiences like those, like I still actually like I still like remember how I feel like pretty like, you know, vividly when I think back to those moments. But you know, I think it comes with the level of understanding when you play this game that like things aren't always going to go your way, and sometimes you're like the main character until you aren't, you know what I mean? And then like the game just like says no, and that's okay, you know what I mean? Like that's something I think you have to come to terms with if you're really going to play this game consistently at a high level, you know what I mean? You just have to put yourself in those positions where you can be the main character and things can go your way. Sometimes they won't, and that's okay, you know?
It reminds me of like the Boit, was it EUIC where he went 0-4? And then it like went on Twitter that someone asked him, like, was it bad luck or bad plays? And he was like, please never ask me this again. After he like literally just ran into... I think he said in the end that he just like was on a crit like fair against him. And then like the next event he was at, he was in top 8 anyway. Like, you know, as you say, no one's completely net positive. People can have a bad run of luck in an individual tournament, but if
consistency is impossible in a game like this.
Like over a career of multiple years, you know, these good players do show up to the top, and that's why we see them at the top, and that's why we follow all the players such as Joe. Like we know who they are because they're constantly there.
Joe, did you say that the Astral Barrage double crit through screens?
Yeah. It was double crit through screens.
So I give up on screens. Screens are a fraud. I tried the bulky like Miraidon like Grimmsnarl screen set in Reg Eye, and too many crits. I was like, nah, try something else.
Amazing.
I think it's like it's kind of funny too when you're like because I feel like every strategy has its drawbacks, right? Like sleep can miss, screens you can get crit, right? Like, but you know, it's just about like what risks are you willing to accept. I always tell people that, like when I coach them or like whatever, I'm like, look, like bad luck can happen to anyone. It's just like what risks are you willing to like accept when you play a team? You know what I mean? Like everything's gonna have its own drawbacks, you know.
Going back to Jumpluff quickly, we've had our subscribers sent us a list of questions that they wanted to ask you. And one of them was about Jumpluff. And also you brought Wo Chen to Worlds in 2023 in Japan and finished 19th, which is finished 19th, which is like amazing. I love anyone who gets on board with Wo Chen. I guess the question that was worded to us as, how do you pick your special little guy? My follow-up question would be like, are you going, right, I'm building a Sun Teams. I like Sun Teams. And then they go, oh, Jumpluff is like the optimal choice for this 6th slot. I'm going to use Jumpluff. Or are you like, I want to use Jumpluff. I'm going to build a team around Jumpluff. Like, how did you choose Jumpluff as your like strongest soldier, Mon?
It just fits really well, I think, with like Sun Teams right now. So it's a couple different factors, right? So when you're thinking about Sun Teams, right, like the main what really honestly was a game changer, which I feel like people don't really talk about, is like a Jetpack Torkoal. That's like the biggest like engine for like Sun to actually function, I think, because a Jetpack Torkoal is like what gives you flexibility to like switch your Torkoal around, and you run a Torkoal that's usually faster than a Mungus, so you can overheat it, right, as well to get out. You know what I mean, like before they can spore you or whatever. And the main idea of the team in general is you're using this like Torkoal Jumpluff as like you're getting Sun Up, you're getting Sun abusers out in the back, and you're putting yourself in a position where you can like spam Sleep Powders to soften up for like the back line, right? And like the main thing too is that like the reason why it's Jumpluff over something else is because of a couple different utilities. It's flying typing, so you can use it next to ground type. Ground with fire coverage, super strong.
Yeah.
So that's, you see it on like every Sun team pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that too, another thing Jumpluff does really well is the encore pressure. So like typically versus like more offensive teams, right? People's most common counterplay is protect. Encore is really good at punishing that, right? And then Sleep Powder is Sleep Powder, of course. And then just having like access to like a Tailwind is really, really good, right? Jumpluff is just like a really flexible Sunmon with like it's a big utility like toolkit pretty much. When you're using something like Venusaur, you're forced into like either I'm attacking or I'm clicking Sleep Powder, right? With Jumpluff, it's like, oh, they protect, I can Encore them. Oh, I can Tailwind and speed up my guys. Oh, I can go for Sleep Powder to give myself some value, or oh, I can go for like Leaf Storm to get some damage, right? Like there's a lot more flexibility, and like it provides a lot more utility overall. Not to mention that like Jumpluff is also with its typing, like again, really good next to ground type. So like something like Garchomp in Regulation H or like Great Tusk in Regulation C, right? Like having that ground immunity is huge because it gives you more flexibility with your attackers to like actually spam Earthquake, which I think is like a really like underrated part of the team. Like you can just spam spread moves pretty much into them.
I'm actually a little low-key devastated that you never won an IC with it, because we could have had like Joe's Jumpluff, and it would have been so great. Like in a Cherish Ball Jumpluff, like, you know, please make it happen in the future and make it shiny.
Hey, there might be a chance. There might be a chance. We still have probably LAIC in Regulation H, so could always come back.
We should probably talk to you about the regulation announcements. So we found out, I don't know, it would have been like 3 or 4 days ago now that we've got a kind of a split format. It's a little bit of a dog's breakfast. Let's be honest, it's a bit messy. So online, and we're hoping we get some GCs in this so we can actually use some mythicals.
That'd be crazy.
We've got Regulation J, which allows 2 restricted mons, but in those 2 restricted slots, you can use the mythicals that are compatible with Scarlet Violet. So you can use 2 restricteds, 1 restricted, 1 mythical, or 2 mythicals. And then that's only until like November.
They said,
Wow, but the in-person events are back to Reg H until January.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you think about this?
I think it's kind of lame. Yeah, to be honest, like, okay, I'll put it this way, right? So, look, if you're gonna do, I understand why they never do the mythical formats, right? But like, why even make it a format if like we're not gonna play it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, and also too, I think making a mythical slot, right, like take up a restricted slot makes no sense, because the mythicals, like there's only like a few mythicals that I think actually operate on the same power level. Like offhand, I think of like Magearna, Arceus, right? Like those. But then like, what about all the other ones? All the other ones are just like bad, you know? Like you can't like be like using them, you know? So it's like basically you're playing, like, if you think about it, you're playing like Reg-I Plus with like Arceus, which is like actually viable because it's like good, right?
Yeah.
And then like you're also playing with like maybe Magearna on like Trick Room teams, because you're like sacking and DD to follow me, you're getting a Soul Heart boost, you're getting a KO, you're getting a Soul Heart boost, right? Like that makes sense. And like next to Torkoal, I could see it being like really good. But besides those two, it's like where does this like come up? You know, that's the main thing. You know, I just feel like it was like missed opportunity for like more. I think there is also, I should say, there actually is one more Pokemon I didn't mention, Hoopa. I actually think Hoopa could probably be pretty good because like that mon's pretty crazy. It's like it's a higher base special attack than like Calyrex Shadow. And a 160 base attack. So like I would imagine it like can't be bad if it's on like expanding force team or something, right? Because like psychic dark typing is actually kind of nice. So but yeah, that would be like the main two that I think of.
Have you jumped in the team builder on Showdown and had a bit of Reg J team building?
Oh no, I'm banned. I'm banned from touching that format. I said until Worlds is over, I'm not allowed to play anything but I. So
that's a good call. Given that at time of recording, we're 10 days away from day one.
Yeah. Yep. Are we allowed to ask how your prep is going?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I won't like spill all my secrets, but
no, definitely don't.
Pretty much like. So actually, what I can say is that in Japan, because I actually haven't talked about this yet, but I flew to Japan. I talked about talking to Ray a little bit earlier in the podcast, but
Yeah.
I actually went to Japan with a couple of friends to compete in one of the biggest locals in Japan. It was like 300 players. Or
Oh,
something.
wow.
Maybe 200. I don't know, something like that. And I went there like 2 weeks ago, actually, to compete. And in the tournament, I ended up going 3-2, and then we played an invitational with like a bunch of like really good players. I'm talking like, Arubega, I'm talking Zine, like Kinugawa, Alcana, like all the really good guys, and I kind of realized, I was like, okay, I was using a modified version of what MDB used to win. Was it Stockholm or Utrecht? I don't know which one, whichever it was, with the screens, Grim.
Yeah.
And I was having like a lot of problems with like just the core in general, because most of the time I found myself just wanting to bring like Miraidon, Grimmsnarl, and Incineroar like a lot. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then I have to bring Lando because I just like hated playing Cali Ice. So, and this kind of leads into, I guess, VR a little bit, but like, I just ended up being like, oh, okay, what if I just tried Groudon instead? And it just felt a lot better. So that's how I ended up on what I've been using. Now, whether or not this team will be played at Worlds, like, to be honest, I think it actually like, obviously I won with it, but it has like a lot of problems. like it's not actually like a flaw. I think I played really well. And also like Yellow Magic helped me out a little bit, to be honest, in some of the games, like, like a Grimmsnarl was definitely like helping out, but I don't know. Like, I think the process this year has been like really good, because I've really been forcing myself to sit down and like play as many games as possible, and really, really lock in on just like, okay, like what's like the best I can do, with like, I basically had no team 2 weeks ago. Right. So it was pretty much just like, I need to sit down, lock in, focus. And like, I know I'm a good player. So like, it's just about finding a team that lets me like play well. And then I can do that. And I think a big thing, what's just hard for me about Worlds is like, there's like two approaches you can go in the Worlds with, right? And I think you can show up to Worlds with the team that you think will do well, or you could show up to Worlds with a team you think is going to win, right? I always prioritize showing up to Worlds with a team I think can actually win, because I think like for an event like that, right? Like you could get as many cuts as you want. No one remembers Top Cut that much, right? But everyone remembers a winner, and you'll definitely remember the winner. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially if you win, So I think like that's, and like if your goal is to win, you should be bringing something that you actually think gives you a chance to win. You shouldn't be bringing something that like you think gives you a chance to do well, or on a really good day I could win. You know what I mean? Like that's like, you're basically just saying like, oh, okay, if a comet strikes us out of the sky, like I can win. You know what I mean? Like that's not really like the play, in my opinion. But yeah, I think like this year my process has like definitely, because like now this is my fourth Worlds, right, that I prepped for. So in 2022 was my first Worlds, and I brought a team that I used at NAIC and I did really well with, because it was a more like a year-long format and I had a lot of context with the team, right? In 2023 is when I brought the Wo Chen, right? And actually the Wo Chen seems like the crazy part of the team. But like, to be honest, like I just really like the other five, and I was like, oh, I just need a slot that like fixes the problems that I'm having with like these other five. And Wo Chen, like it was like 2 days before Worlds, I was like, oh, well, let me just try Wo Chen and see if this fixes it. And it actually like fixed the problem. So like, that's why I was there. If you're wondering like what matchup it was the Ursaluna Cresselia stuff, because Tablets of Ruin weakens the Ursaluna with Lando. So like Lando Wo Chen with Giga Drain is like really good into Ursa. And Crest can't like touch your Wo Chen basically. So that was like the main idea there. And then Worlds 24, I prepped. I think Worlds 24 is the best I ever prepped for Worlds, to be honest. I just got like kind of punished like on the day of. I think like I got nervous. I made some bad plays, but also I got a little bit unlucky. Like if we're talking about bad luck, like that was probably one of those days where like it was just like really unfortunate, because I was against a Australian guy. It was game 3. And I was about to win the game. I had like a locked win condition pretty much. And the guy, he crit Terra Normal Extreme Speed and Moonblast on the same turn. So I just lost on the spot, like basically like with a double crit. Oh, damn. And I remember after, I won't say too much of the story, because I think it might be better to, like, I can tell you guys after if you want, but it's definitely not something for a podcast. But basically, like, after the match is over, I remember I just like signed the slip. I put my AirPods. I just like walk out the venue. Like, I don't say a word to anyone. I just like put my AirPods and I walk out the venue. Like, for this year's prep cycle, I think this year's prep cycle kind of strikes me as like a little bit more adjacent to like 2023 with like a hint of 2024. So what I mean by that is like kind of still figuring out some stuff, you know what I mean, about the slot, like closer to Worlds, but
with a little bit of word cheer.
I'm a lot more well prepped. But yeah. Well, like I'm a lot more like well prepped, basically, I think. I feel like a lot more like I have a better understanding of the format for sure. So.
Your 2023 Worlds run with Wo Chen was so hype. I remember this first year I really started watching the streams like seriously for Worlds and, you know, making an event out of it and just like cheering you on. I remember you got interviewed on after winning on stream and there was like this whole like trending like Joe Chen and like Joe Chen and the
I remember that. Yeah.
The casters were so hyped that you were I think Cybertron was going nuts that like, you know, Wo Chen was going to make day 2 at Worlds and I was like all in like, yeah, I'm going for Joe, he's my winner, and then you didn't win, unfortunately. You broke my heart, but it's fine. When you say,
I'm not gonna lie, it was like really funny. I didn't expect Wo Chen to be popular fans, you know. It was just like I was just like, yeah, this month's just kind of good for this, and then it was like I was just looking at Twitter. I'm like, that's actually really funny.
You said that you are doing as much, match practice as possible. Are you someone that has like a few close friends that are like really good players that you're like, hey, I want to play this test against this matchup. Can we do a few best of threes, whatever? You have like a team building chat kind of thing, or are you just like on Showdown ladder, or just hitting up best of threes on that, or like how are you getting these games?
Just getting 4 alts into the top 20.
Yeah.
So actually, it's kind of funny. So I feel like with, when it comes to prepping for Worlds, there's a lot of different ways people go about it, right? Now, the most conventional way people usually prep is they play ladder a bunch, right? Do that stuff. Now, I think like what's interesting about that is I've noticed people have like different approaches, right? So some people don't like playing ladder at all because they like hiding their stuff, right?
Yeah.
Some people only play tournaments because it gives them best of 3 practice, right? And then there are like other smaller tournaments that are usually played that are a little bit more private, right? So for me personally, I usually gear towards playing the more private tournaments, right? Where it's like VR was an exception, obviously. But typically I usually play like smaller best of 3 tournaments, and there's like a couple different servers where Japanese players like closer to Worlds, they host like a lot of best of 3 tournaments. It's like usually 3 to 5 rounds of Swiss, right? No cut. And those have been like really, really helpful for me. Because I usually like doing those instead of like playing in ladder, because ladder really all it takes is like you play really well versus someone, they're not happy about their team. They see your team, they just copy paste it and throw it in their builder. You know what I mean? And like, I think it's not that that's like not okay. Cause like, I think if you're the best player with your team, you should be doing the best with it.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't really want more attention being on something than should be basically. So I think that's like kind of an important thing, right? And I think, it's interesting because with the VR stuff, like, to be honest, like that team too was like the full transparency. Like I just locked it because I wanted to have a bit of fun with it too. Like the Japanese have used like Groudon Miraidon as well. So it was just like a fun archetype to play, right? And like just the Pokemon player in me just like solving problems with like archetypes for fun. You know what I mean? Like I like doing that, or like, like working on stuff. So no guarantees that that'll be obviously what's locked for Worlds or anything, but it's just like stuff like that. I think playing a bunch of different teams helps with your understanding of the format for sure. I think in general, one thing that's really underrated is like maybe a little bit of mix of everything, to be honest, is probably good. Sometimes you need to play a little bit of ladder to maybe get a feeling for an idea or a slot on your team, right? To make it feel good. But you definitely don't want to be playing on like main at like high ladder. You know what I mean? Like that's just asking for your stuff to get stolen, you know? But yeah.
Speaking of your stuff getting stolen, so let's talk about your Victory Road winning team. So as you mentioned, it's Miraidon, Groudon, with Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, and Ditto. So congratulations on winning for starters. You said the team had some problems. Like what worked well, what didn't? Can you give us some spicy tips from your Victory Road winning team?
So what I'll say, because I don't want to go too in depth about it. I think that like
surface level's great.
Basically, like there's like I think the main thing with the team that is strong is you're utilizing the ground and electric pins between Miraidon and Groudon, right? And typically on the Cali Ice Miraidon teams, right, you're usually forced into using Lando for those pins. But because Lando is Lando and Cali Ice is Cali Ice, you're usually going to be more incentivized to use Cali Ice and Miraidon. And I found that Groudon generally has better pressure, right, with its ground type moves. That being said, where there are some flaws of the team is that definitely I'd say most of the matchups feel like you need to outplay, to be honest. Not that most teams aren't like that, but I definitely feel like it's definitely about playing better than your opponent. I'd say at best there was maybe one matchup where I felt like I was pretty advantaged and it wasn't anything common, right? I think most of the games I felt like I had to outplay. In terms of it being more 50-50, 45-55 in terms of matchups. Okay.
A real brain on team.
So all the people that are listening, if you're not if you're not a very good player, don't pick up this team and use it. Because you need to be really good to outplay other people. I
do have a question in this line because
so do I. But you first.
Yeah, Joe, you would have played in the old format where there were 9 rounds day 1 and 6 rounds day 2, and now that's been changed to 8 on day 1 and even less on day 2 sort of thing. And we've discussed it locally because obviously our regionals are smaller. Our biggest event was 8+2. This season.
I think so. I didn't get that
far. So there's, the talk of, do you want to play a real thinky team all day and drain your opponents, but also risk draining yourself? Or do you want to play a team that, press buttons and win or lose quickly? Obviously at a high level, that doesn't really exist, but
in theory.
In theory, yeah.
In theory.
A team that you would have to be thinking about constantly in a longer day seems like something that can be very detrimental in general.
I think you need a team that has defaults, default approaches, right? In terms of so even though the Miraidon Groudon team is probably a thinking team, right? If I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna lead Grimmsnarl, right? You know what I mean? It just makes sense.
When in doubt, T-Wave.
And I think, exactly. You always have that out of T-Wave, right? That shouldn't be the first thing you go for. No. It's not like I did that every round, but it's definitely something that is the point of running Grimmsnarl, right? You run Grimmsnarl to do Grimmsnarl things, right?
Yeah.
I think that a good team has a mix of both, where you have really strong default approaches, with really strong Pokemon, right? But they have the capacity to be elevated more if you're thinking a lot, basically. That's how I would put it. So it's not necessarily about having a team that's always you just attack every turn or you lose if you don't get a turn right, or being so balancy that you're playing 20 turn games, everything. I think there's a sweet spot in the middle. Probably, I guess what I'm talking about is bulky offense, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I'd say, for example, the Fed team does that really well, right? It has good defensive pieces like the Electric Sea Lunala, the Incineroar, right? But then you have Ursaluna and Miraidon, which speed up the game considerably, right? And I think teams like that are usually a good middle ground area for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was your question, Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it was kind of along similar lines. Obviously you're a pretty unique team builder in a lot of ways. Historically your teams have had some very, very interesting and cool picks on them. My question was sort of along the lines of, how do you go about sort of building those teams and developing the meta awareness? I mean, I know there's a sort of a sentiment amongst certain elements of the player base, just meta is the only way to go, and it's the best way to play at the high level. It could be a bit of a noob trap, but what's your insight on just sort of creative team building versus the meta?
You don't creative team build just a creative team build.
No.
You do it if it makes sense. Is what I would say. So for example, right, let's look back at the Regulation H team, for example, right? Hisuian Typhlosion wasn't something that was used a lot previously, right? It wasn't really good, but the reason why I used it was because I needed a offensive Pokemon that could put on a lot of pressure with special attacks on the team that benefited off of Sun. In Regulation C, it was Fluttermane. In this format, it's what's it called? Hisuian Typhlosion with Eruption, right? I want to run Hisuian Typhlosion over Zard because it's immune to Fake Out, which is better for like a more offensive team, right? Or we look at like the, we were talking about the 2023 team, right? Yokohama, right? Like Wo-Chien was really good because it made my Cresselia Ursaluna matchup better. If it didn't make that better, I wouldn't run Wo-Chien. It also made my Tailwind matchup better, Urshifu Tornadus, because you could just lead Thundurus and Wo-Chien, and you just click Wild Bolt, and like they were in a bad spot, right?
So you're not trying to bring something that your opponent may not have much experience with, and kind of trying to catch them off guard a bit. Is that part of it, or is it strictly just my team needs an answer to this, and this is the best option?
It has to have a purpose, is what it is. Yeah. It's like it's a bonus if it catches them off guard or they're not ready for it. But I think it's about it having a purpose. Like honestly, in Worlds Yokohama, it's funny because obviously the Wo-Chien is like the bigger thing of focus for a lot of people. Thundurus was not like popular at all at the time. Like I was the only Thundurus in Top Cut as well. That was not like a common meta choice at all, but it worked really well for the team. I thought honestly the coolest part of the team really was like the Thundurus with Thunderwave plus like Hex Fluttermane with Specs, because it did so much damage in the tournament. Like I was Thunderwaving stuff and hexing it, and it was like one-shotting things it should not be one-shotting. Right?
I wanted to ask you about that hex thing. Because that strategy is just mind-bogglingly brilliant. But like, it's one of those things I would like think of in like when I'm cooking a team in Team Builder. I would like, oh yeah, I can run hex because I'm running like Thunderwave, Thundurus. But in reality though, like, did you actually find yourself clicking Hex more often than like Shadow Ball? Because you had both on the set. So like, did Hex pay off like as an investment?
I think I won a stream set actually because of Hex. I think the one where I was against Kingo Harada,
yes,
he has Heatran paralyzed, and I think Hex did like 80% to his like Heatran or something. It was like pretty crazy. It was like nuts. Yeah, it was really strong. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like every single time I'd use it, right? Like, of course, like it's. I think on the Specs Flutter, let's be real. Like, if you're Terraferring it, like Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam are being clicked a lot, right? But like, I think it's the most reasonable fourth move because it synergizes with the team. And a lot of the games, you'd like lead Thundurus, you'd spam T-Wave on everything, and then you'd like get in a position where like you could hex at the end of the game.
Yeah,
right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and I think that was like pretty impactful. As well too, like we're talking just like strategies in general, like other like smaller like Pokemon, right? Like if we think about like even the World's team in Honolulu, right, with like Volcarona. At the time, Volcarona was not used at all, right? Like it was actually like I think I was the only Volcarona player really using it at Worlds. That like at least like with Quiver Dance for sure. Or it's like very, very few people. And it was really good on that team because it was so strong into the Zamazenta teams, right? And it was like decent in the Calyrex Shadow because you would bring in Ditto to copy the boosted Calyrex Shadow that had the boost to deal with your Volcarona, right? And like Volcarona because I was like, oh, I needed to, be this like crazy slot. I picked it because it just did exactly what I needed it to. And I picked Ditto because it fixed like Calyrex Shadow, because a lot of the times what would happen is I'd use Volcarona to break the Cali Shadow teams. But if they got through my Volcarona, I'd lose the game. Right. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so I need to have something that like can be insurance if like I lose my Volcarona, and then that was Ditto, right? So Ditto was there for a purpose as well. And like the Ice Rider teams, like it was always a little awkward because they could always like snowball with their Ice Rider, and if I couldn't stop them in time, it'd get out of control. But then adding Ditto was like huge, right, for being able to deal with that. So there were like every single team that I've used where I've had like a weirder mon, there's always been like a purpose to it. It's never just been like it's just there to be there.
Yeah, he's my curveball deal.
I think that's important.
Yeah, so it's more about like meta awareness and specific situations on a turn-to-turn basis.
There's this saying actually that I think is like really relevant with Pokemon, and it's like, it's like once everyone's seen something, it's like way less good, basically.
Yes.
So sometimes it's about finding solutions, or like that's not the exact quote, but like it was probably said way more eloquently than that. But basically that's the idea, right? And I think the main thing is that like sometimes solutions that you find are like very like very specific, and by the time everyone finds that like solution to the metagame, like you're probably behind on the trend. You know what I mean? So like, for example, right, if you were like, oh my god, Scarf Miraidon is incredible right now, right, you're probably really behind on trends. You know what I mean? But if you were saying something like, oh my god, like Life Orb Miraidon is really good, I've seen the Japanese using it, that's a trend that like is more relevant, because Life Orb Miraidon is being used by a lot of the good Japanese players, and it's like a little more under wraps, right? It hasn't really been used in tournaments. I think anyone looking at a Victory Road wouldn't really see Life Orb and think about it, right? But it's something a lot of the Japanese players are testing, right? So, spoilers, I guess, if you didn't know that and you're listening to the podcast. But like,
Good to know.
it's like stuff like that, you know. It doesn't matter. There's like a what's it called? Like I've talked about it, I think, multiple times. So it's like, you know, like it's something that I think, but it's like, yeah, small things like that, right? Like that, just if you're paying attention, you get a lot more information and insight into certain things, I think.
It's like the first time we saw like Tailwind Ursaluna in Reg F or whatever it was on stream for the very first time, and we were like, what the heck? Like,
Well,
big brain play, and then you run it on ladder and everyone's got to counter to it. Like, it was immediately bad after that first time that we saw it.
It outspeeds
I mean,
Footman.
Utrecht, right? The Hail team was good exactly one time.
Exactly, yeah.
I still believe Narakudo. Shut up.
I mean, I was going to add on to my previous question and ask whether you thought that like different metas had more scope for creativity or less, but I think you already answered it. It's sort of a like, there's sort of small incremental changes that you can make to certain sets, and then there's like the macro crazy mons, like whoa kind of stuff, and it's all just optics, really.
Yeah.
I think it also just depends on like the context of the format. You know what I mean? Like, because cool innovations can look different depending on the format. Like in Worlds, you know, in Yokohama, right? Like Wo Chen is a very flashy, like anti-meta Pokemon, right? But then in Honolulu, you could argue like Volcarona, like it's cool, but it's not like, you know what I mean? Like in Ditto, they're not like the craziest thing ever. They've been seen before, but they're still like good meta adaptations, right? Exactly, you know. And then I think like in this format, Regulation I, like when you're looking at like quote unquote like anti-meta things, right? You're maybe looking at like, oh, okay, like this pairing's weird, right? This pairing of restricteds is weird, or like, oh, this support Pokemon is like kind of cool, but like it's not going to be the same as like, you know, I guess like previous formats where it's like maybe a really flashy weird Pokemon, because as power level increases, right, like the weaker Pokemon get phased out faster, right? So
the meta gets tighter.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
With speaking of previous formats, are you excited for Reg H to be coming back? And also, this is a subscriber question: what is your favorite format / year of VGC?
So to answer the first question, my wallet says yes, my heart says no. So I think Regulation H is one of my best formats, so I'm fine doing it. I don't usually like rehash formats unless I feel like there's like something I want to like redeem about them. You know what I mean? So I actually really appreciated the return to Regulation G. Like G I appreciated, because to be honest, like G was a terrible format for me. I think my only good performance in G was I got a 19th place at Los Angeles. And then I prepped really hard for Worlds and got 119, right? Like for me, that's like, that was like an abysmal showing, right? And then on the return, playing with the team that I did well with, you know, last time, or like that I prepped for Worlds, like I got 6th at EUIC, like 10th in Vancouver, 3rd in Atlanta, like 13th in Milwaukee, Milwaukee is technically but it was like kind of the same team. But anyways, like, the idea is like, okay, like I felt like I at least like redeemed the team a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the team was good. And I think like that felt really good. But going back to 8, I mean, I guess the main redeeming thing would be like winning, which I think would be really cool, because I think the team definitely deserves it. You know what I mean? But I think like I would have been fine playing J if like they made J a bit of a better rule set. But I guess given what we know about J, I'm happier playing H if like the J rule set is the way it is, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I feel like J just exists for like ribbon hunters to have their opportunity in Gen 9
Yeah.
to put ribbons on their
Bit of a kick
mythicals.
around format, nothing proper to actually do with it.
It's kind of what it feels like. They're like, I suppose we should let people get ribbons on their mythicals.
And we
Like-
should let people play Extreme Killer Arceus with Chen Pao.
It's the same as Series 13. Like, yeah.
I just like don't like it when like I feel like I don't like it when there's formats without a purpose. Like that's how I feel about it, right? Like I don't mind regulation. Like if Regulation J was the rule set, you know what I mean? Like I'd be fine with it. But it just feels like it's there to be there. And I don't really like that. I like it when it's like something's there because it's like actually there. Also, like definitely like Arceus is going to be good, but I think people forget that like Zamazenta is like, it could also like someone could just run Calyrex Shadow Zamazenta again. You know what I mean? And it's like your Arceus is like useless, you know? Like, like it's not like you have to run mythicals, you know? Like maybe people will run it because it's for fun a lot of the time, but like, yeah, you can just definitely just run like a regular like Zamazenta and just like wall out Arceus, you know? So
Yeah, we need like Chi Yu on the team or something.
That's basically what I've been saying is I've been having a lot of fun on the Reg J ladder running a Migiana team, but to be honest, I don't think any Reg J team is better than the best Reg I teams.
Yeah. Like, Arceus is a really good extreme speeder, but like, Prior Spam is not good at the moment. So it's like the best for bad bunch.
I think the potential for Arceus actually comes in like the fact that it can be any type. Like I actually think like if the format was a real format, it would actually be exploring like maybe the less like thought out like Arceus types or like running like Calm Mind Judgment stuff or like other stuff. Like I could actually see like, for example, and mark my words, if this format actually gets some traction, people play it online, I guarantee you Calm Mind, Recover, like set up Arceus will be like one of the teams in the format. I guarantee you, it's too good. It is too good to not be played. It is too good to not be played with like Rillaboom or something. I think it's like actually probably really strong.
Aquawater or something, yeah.
So, and then your favorite format / year for VGC?
Yeah, and why? I'm like in the context of everything we've been talking about, I think this is going to be really interesting.
Oh, man, hardest. See, that's hard because I liked a lot of formats. Okay, so there's like two answers. I know it's like cheating a little bit, but there's like two answers. So 2019 has a very special place in my heart because it was the first format where like I started hitting my crazy result streak. Like I was doing really well, right? I understood the format really well and I had a lot of fun playing it, right? And whenever I look back on the format, there's like a lot of like nostalgia and like, you know, I really like the format, right? I would say probably of my more recent formats, I'm thinking about every single regulation because it had to be somewhere in Scarlet and Violet because I did like Scarlet and Violet a lot. I'd actually probably say I think it's between G and H, which of course because those were like my two best formats probably. But I think I'm gonna have to give it to H just because H as a meta. So like I like restricted formats, but I felt like H was like a really well executed like regional decks kind of meta or like national not over like Broken Mons kind of meta, you know. It felt like actually pretty well balanced. I know people hate like Sneasel or whatever, but I don't think it's that much of a problem.
Yeah,
there was lots of complaining about Sneasler in that format, but like I don't think it dominated in the way people made it out to be.
Yeah, I mean,
this dominating figure.
Yeah.
And also, it took a long time to actually become a thing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like also too, what I really like about H is I like really like Hisuian. I like Typhlosion as a mon actually. Typhlosion is one of like my favorite starters. And getting to actually use like Hisuian Typhlosion and it was like actually like meta relevant, like viable was really sick. I actually really appreciated that about Typhlosion.
Joe, I just realized that we didn't ask you one of our like trademark puff piece questions.
No, we just steamed through.
What is your favorite Pokemon overall? And then give us your favorite competitive Pokemon.
Okay, I'll give you guys 3 guesses. You will never guess what my favorite Pokemon is.
We'll never guess.
I guarantee you.
Okay.
I guarantee you you'll never guess it in the first 3 at least. I'll even give you 5. I don't think you'll get it in 5.
I'm gonna say Volcarona first.
Nope.
I really want to do like over under on gens and then just like really try and lock in on it.
I'm not going to get it right. Is it your beloved level 100 Kadabra that never evolved?
No, it's not.
So it's probably not. It
All right, three more.
hasn't been used by you in a team competitively.
Yes, but you would have to go super on rank battles. You have to go super or like on Gen 7 cart. There is a clip of it.
Gen 7.
Is it in the game currently, or has it been dexited?
Let's see.
Okay, so Joe does.
I mean, you have to think about it.
It has been dexited. It is dexited.
Oh, that narrows it down a lot.
He does like Sun. He does like Trick Room. Like, could it be some sort of like mega camera up to meme or something?
Could it be Ferrothorn?
Maybe.
It's not Ferrothorn.
That's the one I always think of when I think of good Dexited mons.
Joel's got his phone out, so he's trying to
two
cheat.
more. I believe in you guys. You can get it. Two more.
Is it something that benefits from the sun?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Does it benefit from terrains? I'm thinking Tapus.
No.
No.
Oh God.
It could be your beloved Serena. Ethan?
Serena's in the game.
Is in the game.
Oh, true. So it's not in the... I don't even know what's not in the game.
I beat you with it.
I know
times.
for a fact...
It's not Serena.
I know for a fact
you have the last guess. I believe in you guys.
Chris, you ruined our guess for something we knew it wasn't.
This is not a guess, but I know for a fact...
Okay.
I know for a fact that Joe has taken Crobat to events before.
Okay. Well, that isn't in the game.
It's not in the game.
No. Could that be a guess?
Only if you guys are... Because it's our last guess.
Should we count that as a guess?
Joel's been doing research on his phone. Joel, do you have anything else?
I don't have anything because it's so difficult to get a list of dexited Pokemon.
Lock it in, Chris.
Fuck
Are you
it.
sure?
Yeah,
Fuck
do
it.
it.
Crobat.
I hope it is because it's a good mon.
Okay, it's not Crobat.
Damn.
Ready? It's Feel.
Hell yeah.
The little guy.
Feels in my top 10 list.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Also,
did he use actual
so I have a clip. I have a clip for you guys. Yes, I have a clip for you guys. So the context for this clip is I don't know if you could like put the link in the description or whatever, but basically, so I don't know if you guys know who Master Mark VGC is. So when I was getting into a VGC, he was a Twitch streamer who would stream Battle Spot every single day, right? And the running joke of the stream was that I would stream snipe him, and as in like finding him on like ladder and then playing him. And I play him on ladder with this really goofy Sfeel Smeargle team. That's sheer cold Sfeel with instruct Oranguru and Smeargle. And the clip that I'm about to show you is me winning with Sfeel and Smeargle on stream, spamming like here it is. It's just the end of it. But I just I'll send it in the chat.
Amazing.
But you can see like immediately when you open the clip, there's just like a cute little giant Sfeel sitting there.
I love that you just have this clip like on hand, ready to go at any moment in time.
We will post this in the show notes so that everyone can see it.
Hold on, I'm watching it now.
Well, there is a Ferrothorn there. I was close.
Yeah.
We are watching the video for our audio listeners.
He lands a sheer cold.
It's like a sheer cold Smeargle and Sfeel. It was really funny.
Oh no, the sheer cold
just
hit.
spam instruct on the Sfeel. Yep.
Marathon.
I reckon bring it back for Worlds. No one will see it coming.
Nah, yeah, just gotta convince Pokemon to let's feel back in the game, you know.
Well, yeah, I
Gen
mean,
10's coming.
I love the whole line.
I tried to run it back actually in Sword and Shield because I love them on so much. I actually tried to make a team using Sfeel with Sheer Cold. It doesn't really work when you have Dynamax Pokemon that just like blow up everything. But it was a cute idea for like 2 seconds, you know.
And what about Sfeel aside, because obviously it is a competitive Pokemon. We've just seen proof. But like, if you were taking, like your favorite serious competitive Pokemon,
I think Sfeel is not seriously competitive.
it's seriously awesome.
Yeah, but it's not in the game,
serious.
so we
I
can't
don't
count
know.
it. Yeah.
Have you played, Joe? Have you played the Pokemon New Snap, where like all this feels like rolling around the ice area and like dropping into the pools and stuff? It's really cute.
Oh yeah. I saw that actually. I did see that when I was looking through the game. Yeah, that's pretty funny. No, so my favorite my favorite competitive Pokemon. It's got to be Kingambit, I think. Kingambit's
nice.
This thing has so much aura. It's
Solid
actually
choice.
really sick.
Yeah.
Kingambit's really cool. I really like Kingambit.
It is a good
Ethan,
player.
you have
It
made
used to
the
be
comment
Yeah.
previously when we've been looking at things that no one plays Kingambit like Joe does. I'll have to go digging for the clip, but like...
Did I say that? Okay.
You did. It is a mon that you seem to have done very well with in the Scavvy generation.
If you look at actually, so on VGC Limitless, they have like a point system for like who has the most points with like every Pokemon, right? So if you look at King Gambit specifically,
strongest
it has
soldier.
me at number 1, and I'm ahead. I'm ahead by like 105 points from the next person. So
Oh my
like,
god.
like the next person is Riley, which makes sense because he had a crazy tear on Regulation E with the team. But then I picked up his team too, and I used it, and I did well with it. So it probably kept me ahead. And then Luca Trejude, who like always spammed the Swords Dance King Gambit set.
Yeah, I remember.
In every single regulation.
Yeah, I'm a King. I'm a King
But
Gambit
then, yeah,
fan.
no, literally I'm number 1 on King Gambit, like by far. Actually, I think every single Pokemon on my Regulation H team, I think I have number 1 for, because his Hisuian Typhlosion, yeah, I'm the number 1 player by far. And then it's was it Jumpluff? Jumpluff, I definitely think I have like locked. Yeah, Jumpluff, I have locked by like a ton. And then Torkoal, I would be shocked if I don't have Torkoal. Yeah, I have Torkoal as well. Like, I genuinely Garchomp I probably don't have, because there's like Garchomp's been around forever. But I'm number 2 with Garchomp. Alberto Lara is like way ahead of me though. He's like crazy in this with Garchomp. And then Dragonite, I'm sure I'm not like number 1 at all, because Dragonite's like really pop. Oh, I am number 1 in with Dragonite actually.
Wow.
So I have 5 of the 6 Regulation H-Mons as number 1.
What do you think of
that's actually really funny.
What do you think of the hotly contested Mega Dragonite design?
Oh, like I don't get why the wings weren't on its like back.
Well, apparently Dragonite is based off of like Hermes, and Hermes' wings were on his head.
And
Well, he wore a winged
Like a
helmet.
winged helmet, yeah.
well, Dragonair has wings on
I
its
just
head.
feel like
Yeah, that as well.
I just feel like the angel wing, yeah, but like then just give it like a smaller set of wings on its head, and then give it like a giant like angel wings. I feel like that'd be
That's
cool.
what I thought as well.
sure.
I thought that like the fact that it's got big wings on its head and tiny wings on its back looks kind of stupid as shit.
I think it looks cool. It's like a Mario enemy.
Yeah,
and all of
Like,
those
I think
look
it's,
dumb
like,
as hell.
fine. Like, is it a little dumb? Like, yeah, but also like, I feel like you have to suspend your disbelief for like a lot of Pokemon. For you know what I mean,
It's just
It's
the
not like,
design philosophy.
It's not like we're rocking with like, you know, the most practical Pokemon of all time anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's meant to be goofy. Well, so
I
on
mean, look forward to the supposed leak of Starmie, if that is anything.
the long legs.
The long-legged Starmie.
I can't wait.
if that's what it is.
Question:
Have you all ever seen that meme? Because like the Starmie link, the leak or whatever, but it's like Patrick Star with like the stockings
Yeah.
on his
Yes.
leg,
Yes.
like, standing there.
So
Like, oh yeah,
good.
we found Mega Starmie early. You know? Yeah.
Question from me, and also a question from one of our subscribers. So I would like to know if you could give any Pokemon in the game a Mega Evolution, what would it be? And if you could retcon an existing Mega, which one would you change?
Ooh.
Ooh. Mega Evolution.
You can say Sphere if you want.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my first initial like instinct, but you know, I want to say that. Well, actually, yeah, a lot of my favorite Pokemon already have Megas. Funny enough, I would. You know what? Would actually be really cool. I think Oh, actually, nah, not really. Let me think about this. I need like 30 seconds.
Okay,
I feel like okay.
Say a Mega
I'm gonna
NFE would be
say
funny.
Mega Spheal.
Yeah.
A Mega Spheal would be really cool, I think. But if we're talking about like stuff that will actually happen, it may be a bit of a cop out, but I'd love it if all the evolutions have like a Mega Evolution. I think that'd be really cool.
That'd be pretty
Yes.
fire.
okay. Is there a Mega that you think is like
I think that'd
shit?
just be sick.
What Mega like do you think like needs fixing?
Like needs fixing, or like I would cut it from the game and it would never exist.
I think with the question like retcon to me means like you change something about
Yeah,
it.
changeability or stat spread.
Then,
Yeah.
then also let us know which one you'd remove from the game.
And why is it Mega Kang?
Let's see. So I would probably fix Mega Houndoom, because I feel like Mega Houndoom
Yes.
is really sick and it could have been a really cool Sunmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like imagine if it said Drought or something when it like Mega, that would be really cool. Or like even if it just like had Intimidate or anything, actually, like just give it anything, right?
Any tool.
And I think like the Mega that I think is like, I'm trying to think of like the most useless Mega ever, like, or just like the one that like I'd be like, why would this even exist?
Dana, yeah.
Aldino is really pointless. I think of like Glalie as well. Like Mega's Glalie is
awful.
just super pointless in my opinion.
Yeah, good picks.
Yeah, I think like it's probably Audino, but Audino's like at least like cute looking. Glalie is just like ugly, and its jaw is broken.
They gave him a neck beard.
This thing's definitely not happy.
Yeah, it's literally got a neck beard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably Mega Glalie. And also minus points because they didn't give one to Frostlass either. If they were giving it to Glalie.
True. Another guest question. So you told us, you sounded like your Japan trip was pretty epic, the one you had a couple of weeks ago. Did you bring back any cool merch from Japan?
Yeah. So I got a bunch of stuff from the Pokemon centers. I got a couple plushes. There was actually this Miraidon sitting cutie that I wasn't able to find in the States, which was pretty cool. Nice. So it's like a pretty tiny like Miraidon. I thought was pretty cool. And then there were some like other stuff. There was like these special ones. There was like a Mew with like a card holder in it where you could put a card in it, which was pretty cool.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And like some other stuff. Yeah. And actually, so funny enough, so every Worlds, I used to be like really bad about like just buying a bunch of stuff. I think actually general estimation, I think I spent $1,500 at one of the world's Pokemon centers. I don't remember which one it was. Nice. I think it was either London or Japan. I think it was Japan. Japan makes more sense, right? Yeah. And I have a suitcase that's probably now worth like, I don't know, like 10K or something with all the, because it's like a bunch of the Yokohama merch or whatever.
Oh, nice.
I haven't taken it out, but like all that stuff, it like shoots up in price after because it's like exclusive, right? So if I'm ever like really broken down on my luck, I have something to like save myself from poverty, you know?
you got the investment ready to go.
Yeah. So, and also I wanted to save it because then, you know, if like, basically like the idea is like I have it if I really need to sell later on, or like ideally I keep it and I just hold on to it, right? Like memorabilia would be really cool.
100%.
When I eventually well, I don't know if this could happen in New York, but like get a house or something, right? It'd be really cool to like have like a Pokemon room, you know what I mean? Where I just have like all my old stuff there. Although I say that, I lost one of my IC trophies. I have no clue where it is, actually.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like it's just gone. I have no idea where it is.
To our listeners, keep an eye out for Joe's IC
I'll buy nothing.
Good on detectives out there.
Yeah. Like I just got a top 4 trophy. I was like, oh yeah, like I'll put it with my thing, and I was like, wait, where is it? And I just like can't find it. So I think I just lost it somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Jeez,
nice work.
Maybe your mum nabbed it and then sold it on like Craigslist.
Like 4 or 5 regional medals, I think. I lost like 4 or 5 regional medals.
Yeah, someone's definitely selling your stuff on Craigslist.
I'm assuming there's no way of
asking. Yeah, probably.
I'm assuming there's no way of Pokemon replacing them, right? You can't apply to have a replacement, like a gold medal. They're replacing them.
I can't imagine so, because apparently there's people that go to these events to buy them like there off the winners and stuff. So like,
okay, for what it's worth, I don't think they're actually worth that much money, because genuinely, like, I remember after Fort Wayne, I get second place. They literally just hand me the medal in the wrapper. It was really funny. I was just like, oh, okay.
That's how we do it here as well.
Like, yep. They just open the box. There's like a bunch of medals with wrappers, and they just hand me one. They're like, here, congratulations. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know,
I don't think the regs ones are worth much, and probably not even the IC ones, but the world's ones definitely, like they sell for a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The world's one's 100%. But I would never. I could be broke down like $100,000. I never sell that world's trophy till the day I die.
I don't think
I would never sell that trophy.
Yeah,
the card fair. The card would be fine. I think selling the card is okay. I think because the card is like whatever. Like to be honest, I throw cards in my wallet all the time and they just get all bent up. So like I definitely wouldn't be able to what's it called, take good care of that card. But like the trophy, no way. I would hold on to that for life.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're just going to throw the cards away, like what I'll do is I'll DM you my address, and you can just mail them to me every the world's promos. That'll be fine. Probably not going to get my own.
I didn't say I was going to just give them away for free. You know?
Damn, almost had him.
So close, Chris.
So I'm just going to do some.
Did you guys hear how much? Did you guys hear how much? I think, I don't know. Like, I can't say this 100%, so don't like put me on the record for this. I'm pretty sure someone offered like one of the world champions like almost $200,000 for their card.
Holy shit! I knew they were going for upwards of $100,000.
Who has that money?
There's somebody that has a collection of nearly every winner's card from like 2007 or something, and they put it up on eBay just to show off what they've got.
Yeah,
but like the asking price was $9 million.
Just so, yeah, they're
Holy
flexing.
shit.
Yeah,
And it's
I know
like
the
multiple
second place.
firsts.
I know the second place. The second place. There was a second place person who got 90,000 euros, I think,
Yeah.
for their
It's insane.
for their card. So a lot,
Jesus.
yeah. It's like generational wealth off of a Pokemon card.
Yeah. This is why I'm trying to encourage my
generational
5-year-old.
wealth is generous. That's generous. not today's age.
It's a
not
house
generational
deposit,
wealth, but
at
it's
least.
like comfortable. Yeah, you're more comfortable for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to encourage my 5-year-old to play Pokemon so that he can buy a house in Australia when he's like 25, because it's just about the only way he'll be able to afford it.
We've got a kid in Perth who's like a multiple IC finalist. His dad is doing all right.
Yeah, well, if he ever needs a coach, I do that too. So
Nice.
it works out.
Good plug. Yeah, shout out if you need coaching. Joe is available.
Well, I'm probably not available for the next week and a half, but
Oh, it's a little bit close to well.
In 2 weeks,
It's actually
plenty
really
of
funny
time.
you say that, because this actually is like it is actually the busiest week I've had in a while, this upcoming week, because it's like right before Worlds. But it's interesting because I feel like different than other coaches, I have a very unique like spin on where I am in the market, because I feel like actually like majority of my coaching is like juniors and seniors actually.
Is Pokemon like coaching and Pokemon tournaments, is this like a full-time gig, or are you also working on top of this?
Oh yeah. No. It's my full time.
Okay, that's cool. Because
huge.
this has become a recent development of these like, professional Pokemon players that actually like make a living off doing this. And it's just like a really interesting concept.
Did you want to say how much you hate Joe now in the same way
I
that
do.
you hate the Australian TCG player?
Yeah, I have started Twitter wars with players who are like bragging about how much they've won this season and how many regionals they attended. And I'm like, these bloody wallet warriors. And I'm stuck at work, a 9-to-5 job.
Oh my god.
But look, you're living the dream, and congratulations. One of our subscribers actually wanted to know like how you balance like your personal life and like work life and preparing for big tournaments, and obviously you're married as well. Like how you balance all that sort of stuff. But I mean, it sounds like if Pokemon's your job, I guess it's probably a bit easier to manage than we think.
I think like, so I can't give like any what's it called, interpretation of how it would be like if you were married, because I don't know, it depends on your wife, I guess, like I'm not married, so I wouldn't know. But I think that with Pokemon in general, right, like it definitely helps being your full-time job, right? But there's definitely like sacrifices you have to take, right? So back in the day when I was doing Pokemon full time, the sacrifice really came at my health, right? I didn't really like take like health seriously that much. Like I would just sit down and play all day. Like I wouldn't really like exercise or anything. And I think like now it's shifted. Like if you want to know what a day to day looks like, for example, right? Like or like I could even give you an example now. So like I wake up early now because it actually gives me some free time during the day. But like, for example, we're doing the podcast right now. It's like early morning for me, right? It's almost 9 a.m. I have a break until 12:30, and then from 12:30 to 3:30, I'm coaching, right? At 4 to 5, I go to the gym. I go like every day during the weekday. And then from 5:30 to 8:30, I coach. And then usually I go to bed now around like 10 p.m. pretty much. And usually in the mornings when I'm not free, like for example, we're doing the podcast today, I'm usually playing like a online practice tournament from like 7 to 11. So pretty much like besides the gym and besides taking time to eat and like an hour break, maybe like I'm playing Pokemon like all day.
The dream life.
Yeah, it's good, but it definitely like at some points can get like tiring too. It's like
sure.
it's all you do for like a day. Because like it's funny because people talk to me and they're like, what do you like? What games do you play for fun? I'm like, I don't like. Sometimes there like be games I play for fun, but like it's more often now that I find a lot of like enjoyment from like going for a long walk or like going to the gym, right? Like as like my time to like decompress and like get away from like the screen, you know?
You're like, I don't want to play Call of Duty because I've been playing Pokemon for 8 hours today. Like I want to go touch grass type thing instead.
Yeah, honestly, there's like a lot of benefits too of just like I feel like what people don't really talk about much, and I feel like this has been a big help to me, is like taking time to like go to the gym, work out, like be active. Those are like really impactful things on like just being better as a player. And the reason why I think so is because it like helps you, like, when you don't derive all of your like pleasure or enjoyment or like good things from the game, it really helps you like like diversify a little bit, I think, in terms of like the game, like even just like gives you more perspective, I guess, right? Like it doesn't like just lock you in as like the game being your only like source of value in your life, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of taking care of yourself, so we like to critique people's fashion on stream sometimes as part of our content. And recently, not that long ago, you got raked over the coals. I think it might have been Atlanta, I want to say, regionals. You're on stream and you had like this big hoodie on and then a jacket over the hoodie. And our Discord was, tearing into you for having too many layers on. And we actually had a subscriber in the city at the time who gave us the temperature. We're like, yeah, that's not cold enough for that many layers, Joe. So
shout out to Wacko.
Shout out to Wacko.
So
apparently the question is basically, can you please lift your fashion game? Was the question.
Who asked that?
Actually,
I'll give him a warning.
For what it's worth, I've been working on it a little bit, but I have to tell you the story. So the jacket I always wear isn't just a random jacket. That jacket is the jacket I won Portland with. So that's why, like, when you see me with this raggedy jacket on stream, it's not like just there because I'm trying to like wear like the worst thing ever. It's actually because it's built up like 5 years of Pokemon luck. You know what I mean? So it's like if I get a new jacket now, it's like I'm kind of like hurting my chances a little bit.
Yeah,
I get that.
Contrary to popular belief, actually, when we're out of the tournament, I do not wear that many layers. What's it called? Clothes.
Okay. I did hate it, but now I love it, knowing that it's a good luck charm. I think that's awesome.
Question though, how many sleep powders do you need to miss before you turf the jacket?
Well, it's funny because actually, so I stopped wearing the jacket for a couple of events, and I think every single event I didn't wear the jacket, I did like kind of bad at.
Oh, sure. All right, leave the jacket on.
Regulation I. And so in Milwaukee, I wore the jacket, I'm pretty sure, and then after Milwaukee, I stopped wearing the jacket at every event, and I think I did bad at every single event I played.
I love Joe.
Without the jacket.
Joe Ugarte's like, oh yeah, like you can't blame your losses on bad luck, but don't you dare take away my lucky jacket. I must wear my lucky jacket to every event.
Yeah, exactly right.
Hey, that's a controllable.
I don't think it like hurts the luck of it I don't think it hurts the luck of it if I like maybe get it like refurbished a little bit or like whatever the thing is, like making it like better, you know what I mean, where they like clean it up a little bit. I feel like that would be fine. Like maybe I'll get them to like, I'll like go to a tailor or something, or like not tailor, I don't know what it is, but like someone to like sew it or whatever, like fix it up a little bit.
Yeah. We've had a string of American guests on, like Jody Azzarelli, Marco Perez, Pat Connors, and they're all huge wrestling fans. And I'm just curious, are you a wrestling fan as well? Is this like a theme with Pokemon players in America?
Nah, I'm probably the wrong person to ask though, because like I actually don't really watch any sports except for like football or like soccer. I mean, well, both. Ooh. I guess you could call it either. It's football for most people.
We call it soccer, so you were right the first time.
Because much like America, we also invented a form of football that only we play, so that we could call ourselves the best at it.
Yeah, we actually have like Australian football.
Yeah. Now, I also like watching American football when like Super Bowl time comes around, like casually. But I've never really been much of like a sports person, honestly. The main reasoning for that is just like, even in school, I wasn't really a sports person. I was always like I like the more thoughtful, like random nerd hobbies type thing, and actually it's funny because my family, a lot of them are like sports, so I'm like, I understand a lot of, or like, I know a little bit about sports just from like, being around people like in my family. But like, I don't like actively like watch a lot of it. I like watching soccer because so I have two sides, Portuguese and Peruvian, and they're both like very into soccer, right? Yeah. So it's like a really like big thing there, and I enjoy watching like it in general. It's just I think like a big thing too is like, I think how it interacts with your culture is really important too. Mm-hmm. So like in Portuguese and Peruvian culture, like soccer is like really big. So it's like really nice to I think it's really nice to be in touch with that part, So
that's cool. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Speaking of random hobbies, this is a really curly question. First of all, Joe, have you ever done drag before?
What?
No.
Okay, well, someone wanted to know what would your drag name be. we can spitball one for you. Don't worry.
Oh no.
We'll get back to
you. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I never thought about this before. Actually, I never been asked that before. So I don't know. I have to. What's it called? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know enough drag queens to help Joe out here.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it. All I know is was this in college, there was this girl I was talking to, and basically she was just like, oh, do you want to go to a drag show with me? We were just like, like talking casually, like whatever, right? And I was like, not really. And then that was it. That's the only interaction I've had like ever in my life.
Hang on, right. So you got a girl asked you out to go to a drag show and you said no.
Yeah. No.
I respect the fuck out of that.
So many people, our subscribers, really wanted to know about how you and Sierra like met and started dating, because I always thought that she was just like a caster and you were a player and that's how it started. But
Can I make it any more obvious?
Yeah, thanks.
he was a girl, like she was a girl. Yeah. But like what is that story? Like how did that start?
So Sierra was in this league called WBE, and it was a content creator league hosted by A Drive that basically had a bunch of like casual content creators getting into VGC. And her season, I actually think she was on a podcast recently with like Charlie Merriman or whatever, where she like also was talking about this. But basically like her season was like going really poorly. She was like, like it just wasn't going well. It was just like, I don't think it's not that like the people in our front office is like, the group of people that are helping were like super bad or anything, but there was no one with like real like guidance or experience, you know what I mean? Or like full, experience with the game. And then what was it? I think was it Jocario reaching out to me, or did I say like, I think it was a combination of like me being like, yeah, like I'm happy to help or whatever. And part of it, like I told Sierra this already. She like got a laugh out of it. I was like, oh yeah, Sierra's kind of cute too. I wouldn't mind like helping, helping her out or whatever. Yeah. So then I joined the front office or whatever, and me and Sierra are just spending a lot of time together. I'm helping her prep like every week, right? We're just talking on calls. Like we just start like finding excuses to hang out that aren't just like, prepping for Pokemon. Like, oh, hey, want to play some random battles? Or like, oh, hey, like want to watch this like show or whatever, stuff like that. And then eventually by like December, like I never like asked her out, because like I feel like it's kind of weird when like it's like an online type thing, and like you originally met someone through like helping them out, like just playing Pokemon. So I was never going to be able to like say anything, but we were both kind of on like there was tension of like, oh, we both kind of like each other, no one's saying anything. You know what I mean? And then Sierra, I remember, I think this was like, I remember the exact day. It was December 22nd. We're on call or whatever. And she's like, so like, what are we? And I was like, well, what do you want to? I was like, well, like, what do you want to be? And then, from there, it was like, she came to visit me because it was during COVID. So she came to visit. Canada was super locked down, so I couldn't go there. So she came to visit me in New York. We had like a really good week. And then from there, yeah, it was just history. Worked together since then. So yeah, that was like how and then actually funny enough, because she was doing more VGC stuff, they reached out to her about like commentary stuff. And then that's how she got into that as well. So had you like met in person before you started doing these like video, like these phone call coaching chats? Like, have you met each other in person at this point? Nope. There's actually, so like extra lore here, which is like really dumb. There's like this really, so I apparently had interacted with her before in her server when I was like really young. Cause when I was really young, I was like a kid, right? I was like, yo, this streamer girl, she's like so pretty, like whatever. Like I want her to be like, like joking around with the boys, you're like, oh, like, yeah, like I want her to be like my future wife or whatever, bro. Like shit like that, like just like messing around, right? And it's funny because I was in her Discord for a little bit, and like after I won Portland, I was so embarrassing. I was like, guys, I won Portland, like whatever. And they're like, oh, did you win in TCG? I'm like, because in the time she was only playing TCG. I was like, oh no, VGC. They're like, oh, okay, cool. And that was like, it's just like Sierra's reaction. She didn't remember that until like later. I forgot about it too. And then when we were talking, like, we were together at this point already, I was like, yeah, like I remember like just like being into you in general, like joking around with my, like buddies or whatever, like, oh, I want to really be like future wife or whatever, like stuff like that. Right. And then what was it? I think she like for some reason looked up my name in her Discord and she was like, wait, do you remember any of this? I'm like, no. But, no, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, yeah, it was like, so we never really met in person, but it was just like a stupid like guy crushing, you know, or like a guy having a crush on a girl, like, but like not saying anything. And then like it ended up working out. It's kind of, if you think about it, kind of like how in the past I was like manifesting being with Sierra. It was like how I was manifesting like talking to Ray Rizzo and hanging out with him. If you think about it, it happened a bunch of years later.
Were you wearing the jacket when you asked her out? Or?
Well, she technically asked me, so I guess
fair enough.
If you could manifest,
the jacket was around, so I guess that worked.
if you could manifest OCIC coming back, that'd be great. If you could do that next,
Yeah.
Yeah, just like rub the lucky jacket and be like, oh, I really hope OCIC is back.
Yeah,
please. I have to say, I know exactly what you mean. I actually met my ex online, and it's just such a weird dynamic trying to ask someone out through that way. She and I had a 40-minute conversation where we were both dancing around trying to tell each other that we liked each other without figuring out a way to bring it up. It was one of the most awkward things I've ever done. And it's relevant to this podcast because I was actually playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee for the entire time we were having the conversation.
Pokemon bringing people together.
That's really funny.
I think Joe, you're probably like the only person in the history of humankind to like for Pokemon coaching to get you laid, like using coaching someone in Pokemon, getting you a girlfriend. That's like peak achievement.
I met my girlfriend through Pokemon.
You weren't coaching her online. She just took pity.
I think it was also too. It was like a circumstance of like, we were just like. Things worked out. I think it was COVID too. That was definitely like a big contributor. You know what I mean? You weren't really like talking to as many people for sure. And like, it was actually really nice getting to know her. It was definitely weird, like the navigating the online part of it, but it was really nice getting to like know her and like, get to learn more about her, spend time with her. Like it was actually a really nice part of like, it's probably one of the highlights of like COVID for me, I think, or one of the better things that happened during that time for sure.
But is it weird?
So it's definitely something that I appreciate,
Is it weird, like when you're touring all these big events, internationals and regionals, and Sierra's on like casting duty at that event, and just like
has to do the winner interview?
Yeah, like she's doing interviews. You're a competitor on stream. Like, do you guys just laugh about that backstage, or is it like super professional? Like, what's the vibe like?
Whenever we do end up interviewing each other, it's very much just like, oh yeah, keep it professional. It's like our jobs, and like not saying anything crazy. Like, obviously you got to throw in the shout out to Sierra at the end of stuff usually. When, regardless of whether she's there or not is usually like what happens. But, I think we've done a good job of navigating it professionally for sure. I think a big thing is like also to understanding like the different, like there has to be like obviously an understanding of like what we need to do for our jobs, right? And then like keeping it professional there, like not putting her in an awkward spot, and I think that's important. Like I'm not gonna like grab her and like give her a giant kiss like while we're on the interview, you know what I mean? Like it's just not like
I don't think Big Pika would be very happy.
I'd love to see that. I want to spice the stream up a bit. Let's get some more views.
I want to see like if you win Worlds and get interviewed by her, I want to see a recreation of like those two people kissing in that World War II photo.
In the train as it's pulling out?
No, the nurse, the sailor kissing the nurse.
Oh, that's right. No, see, Big Pika likes to keep everything G-rated.
Right, I gotta see this. Let's see this. Where's this picture? Oh, this one. Yeah. That's really funny.
What else have I got for my?
I don't think I look as particularly, like stunning as that guy there. If I did that. So.
He's still got like another couple, 2 weeks to Worlds. You go in the gym every day. I'm sure you can get like a little sailor costume.
I don't think it matters what he does. I think all he needs is the hat.
The hat, yeah,
that'll do it.
As long as it matches the lucky
It matches
jacket.
If I was an outfit at Worlds, I'd get called like a nerd in like 20 different languages.
Hey, if you win in a leather sailor's hat with the leather jacket, ain't nobody saying shit.
Another subscriber question was: do you have like a underrated restricted combo for Reg Eye? Like, is there a restricted combo that you think's being slept on a bit? Obviously, don't give us your Worlds team combo, but
Yeah, I mean,
skip.
I really like playing the Miraidon Groudon combo I used to win. That was pretty fun. I think it's like a cool combo. The only problem is Cali Ice, because both your restricteds get like lanced. Besides that, actually, a combo that I thought is like a little bit underrated. I mean, I guess like it's not really that underrated because like the meta's developed like considerably at this point. So there's like honestly like not the most room for like changes.
Yeah.
But I would say like I think Groudon is like really good in general. I think actually next to Calyrex Ice, it's pretty good. Like we saw Hirofumi using it online before, and then a few other players using it. I actually think Groudon Cali Ice like has some serious potential. I think it's good. So.
I feel like every single Pokemon's good except Calyrex Ice. It's just such a ridiculously good, like it's fat, like stab ice spread move is ridiculous. I was actually looking at, I've got like a weekly thing I do, Joe, called Tweet of the Week. And I'm giving it, this week I'm going to give it to this, is it on Twitter? It's at Jones07. He's named a duo for Reg J. We love naming restricted duos. We come up with the most ridiculous names. Us and Tub Takes do it to us. So we come up with these like cool names for the restricted cores. And I'm seeing, so this is team, obviously you mentioned that McGinn is like a Trick Room threat. This is like a theory team that's come out like, Calyrex Ice Rider next to McGinn. They can both set Trick Room. You run like Funnel Gambit, Scarf Annihilate to like guarantee Trick Room goes up turn 1 that sets off McGinner's like Soul Heart boost. And then you get Calyrex Ice Rider in under Trick Room for free. Then they both just start like getting boost every time that anything dies. So the team and McGinner actually like compresses in animation or like folds down into a Pokeball. So it's literally a ball, and you got Ice Rider, and the team snowballs. So the team is just snowball. And
I like it.
so I just thought I'd shout that out. Do you think that's something that you could see being a thing in Reg J?
But maybe.
Chris, he's not allowed to think about it.
He's allowed to discuss it for like 20 seconds.
You're tempting the man away from what he's going to do.
I would say, even though I haven't been playing it, I like, you're just the Pokemon brain and you always like thinks a little bit about this stuff, right? Like, I think at first when you're playing like a new regulation, right? Like those like immediate things come to mind, right? So like Magearna, Final Gambit, Kill a Partner, Indeedee, follow me, get a boost again, right? Like those things are like the immediate things you think of immediately because it's just like, yeah, they're strong, Yeah. I think in short, yes, I think something like that could definitely work. I just think that like as you progress into like a format like that, it's going to be like the ideas that people are less thinking about that like usually end up being like the best ones. I feel like sometimes you have like I was talking about like RCS with Coleman, right? Like that, something like that, or like, random like mythical. I don't even know all the mythicals, to be honest with you. Like there's too many, but like it's just like random ideas like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, why not? So.
All right, last guest question, I promise. Your favorite Australian export. So favorite thing that has come out of Australia that you like in your life.
It's got to be Kieran, right?
Kieran Singh,
yeah, Kieran, yeah.
No, I mean, like if I had to pick between like Kieran Singh and Kylie Minogue, I'm picking Kylie Minogue.
That's a tough choice. They're both so similar.
No, I was gonna say natural gas is my favorite export.
You're welcome.
Correct answer. And now we'd like to thank our sponsors.
Yeah.
This week's episode is brought to you by ALG.
Yeah. I think I mean, oh man, what do you guys actually export to the US? I'm trying to think about if there's anything that like I actually have that's like Australian here.
I was gonna say, I think until recently we were exporting beef there, but apparently now we're getting American befe.
Well, theoretically. If any business owner is stupid enough to import beef.
That's true. It is. I was so curious. I looked up top 20 exports from Australia to America. And beef is up there for sure. So I guess like it might be a cop out, but I think I have to say beef, right? Like, or meat, right? Like it's just like it's the most relevant, you know, like alcoholic beverages. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm just spamming Coronas and tequilas. So like there's not really like, you know, like that's what it is.
Look, if you had have said Foster's, then we would have been like, well, that's an Australian joke on the world because nobody here actually drinks that.
No, it's actually shit. Yeah.
Is Foster's like a beer?
Yeah, it's terrible. But we've
I actually, when I went to Australia, I don't even remember what I drank. Like I definitely did not drink beer in Australia. I think I had like something else.
What is your drink of choice?
Oh, like in general, like just in like life.
Yeah. So when you win Worlds this year,
Yeah.
what are you drinking at the after party?
pop in a bottle of.
What's called shot of tequila, and I'll chase it with Corona. Probably.
Nice.
It's
I like
lime
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Those are like my two main things. Although I hear that one thing I do want to try is tequila with a pineapple back is really good. Like pineapple juice back, like right after.
Okay.
Because tequila neat is like really like rough sometimes. Well, it depends what you're getting, right? Like if you're getting like sorry, I'm about to get into like tequila for a second, but like basically like if you're going to like some random dive bar and you're getting like a $5 shot of tequila, it's gonna take like it tastes like straight petroleum or like gasoline, right? Like it's just gonna be like horrible. But if you're like getting one of the nice ones, like a decent $10 shot, like, you know, like a Blanco or something, like it's a lot better. But yeah, like I hear that like if you have like tequila and then like a back of like pineapple juice, it's really nice because it like cuts out a lot of the like bitterness of the tequila. Or tequila pineapple is actually really good, but I've never had it before, so I wouldn't know. Usually I just take the shot of tequila and then just drink a Corona right after, and I'm good.
I can't remember
you know?
what Moxie said was the best going tequila. Because when we spoke to Moxie Boosted, he went deep.
He went deep into tequila
with
lore,
us.
yeah.
But can I remember any of it? No.
I think we established that we were all drinking it wrong though in Australia.
Yeah, we drink it wrong here in Oz.
Yeah, I definitely think Coronas are like my favorite though. It's actually like low key really bad though, because like the calories sneak up on you with those things. Because like you know, like I can drink a lot of Coronas and be fine, right? So like I'll just be like at a family party. I'm like, you know, 5 in. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling great. And then like I like think about it after, and I'm like, yo, wait. I was like, that was like 800 calories in one, like in 5 beers or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, bro. Because like. And it's not like, you know, sometimes like I'll just drink a lot. I don't really care. But like it like puts it more into context when you're like going to the gym like almost every day. Right. And like one like really hard workout burns like 250 to 300 calories. And then basically in like 3 beers, you just offset your entire workout. Like it's actually like it really changes your perspective on like what you're eating and like when you're eating it. You know what I mean? Because it's like
100%.
yeah, like I just sat down in the gym. I just worked out. Like yeah, I burned a nice like 250 calories, and it's like oh yeah, I just ate this meal like 1,500 calories. Like yeah, it's all gone now, but it's all good. You know, like
And the rest of my workouts for the week are cooked.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously it's not exactly like, just like that. But yeah, that's kind of how it feels sometimes, when you're just like doing that. So and by no means am I saying I'm a light eater, right? Like I still eat what I want to eat, but like I try to be a little more conscious of it now. So with drinking, I try to leave it only for one day on like special occasions usually, Yeah. So
Got to everything in moderation to any kids listening.
Yep.
Moderation's the best way for most things.
Okay, if there are any kids listening, maybe don't drink until you're like 18 or whatever.
That too.
In the US 21. In the US 21. I'm not saying what's it called? In the US do it younger. But.
Yeah. Also, if there's any kids listening, fuck off. Adults only. We say it at the start of the podcast. What are you doing? Go to bed.
Why have you stuck around for 2 hours?
Yeah. Oh, but I just thought of a possible drag name idea for Joe.
Brilliant.
Sloppy Joe.
You're doing better than me.
Comedy queen.
Simple, elegant.
I've been thinking for ages, and the only thing I've been able to come up with is JoeUX9. So,
Joe
Oh
Mama.
my god. I actually think I had an alt on Showdown a long time ago, which was JoeUX9. Funny enough.
That's amazing.
Can I ask
I
where
think someone else has an alt called Someone else has an alt called Slow UX9 as well. Funny enough.
It's not one of the Japanese players doing like a Kelsh armpit.
But yeah, MDB armpit.
MDB armpit.
Yeah, MDB armpit. Yeah, MDB armpit. Yeah.
Can I ask where the JoeUX9 handle came from?
Yeah. So basically, Joe, just a short for Joseph.
wow.
U is my last name, just the initial. X is like actually genuinely just a really cool letter. So that's why I just used it. And then 9 is the day I was born, February 9th. So.
Nice.
There you go.
I like
We're an
it.
educational podcast.
We are. We
Yeah, but
absolutely.
it was like written like low key like a dork. Like I wrote it like a dork like at first because I did Joe and then dot UX9. It was just stupid. I was like, why did I put a period here? And then I just like removed it. I was like, oh yeah, that just looks way better. So like X9 is just like a really like easy to brand like tag at the end, right? So
Yeah.
X9
Yeah.
Academy, like X9 whatever.
That's actually my record at most regionals.
X9.
We don't have big enough regionals.
It's really impressive considering we usually only get 8 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is cool.
It's like he lost an extra round behind the dumpster behind the venue.
Yeah. Car park fight.
I lost all my rounds and then about $200 in cash matches after.
Yeah.
Joe, what is if you're not winning worlds, let's just hypothetically say, you are, obviously you are, but if you're not, who's your pick to win worlds this year?
I think Marco is really, really strong. I think if it's not going to be me, I think it'll be him. I think he's really, really good. And I think he's particularly motivated this year as well because I'm friends with him. I've talked to him, and I just think he's a really strong player. And like the level of understanding he has of the game compared to like others is like way better, So
Yeah, some of these Italians.
it's
on
like
another
I
level.
can't do it justice. I can't do it justice. Honestly, I can't do Marco's level of like gameplay justice in like describing it, but just like watching him play. And like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like any human, you make mistakes, right? Like, and I don't think he's played perfect like every single set of every single like game, or every single game of every single set. But I think if we're looking at like the percentage of how often he plays like perfectly optimally or like really good, like it's very like he does very well. I think he's like easily one of the like best players to not win a world championship yet.
Yeah, I would agree with that
Well,
take.
Joel, you drafted Marco for the Worlds. We're doing a Worlds draft, Joe, for Worlds this year. We do it every year. Mark here drafted you as his North American pick, and Joel, you got Marco as your European pick.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I got 3 Italians
Oh, nice.
and 4 Japanese players.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like the banking on the Japanese and Italians are like very like it's very safe for Worlds to be honest.
Yeah.
Like for NAIC, I did a draft with a couple friends, and literally I just grabbed every single Japanese player that was going, and it literally like bumped my numbers up like crazy. It was like no, I grabbed every single Japanese player and I grabbed Marco, and then it was funny because the two I got second in the draft, but it was because the other person Gio Siski, he had picked up Fede. So our drafts were literally determined by who won in finals between Fede and Marco. Funny enough.
That's awesome.
I agree with the Japanese players thing. Literally one of my first picks was Yuma Kinagawa, Japanese player. He's just had a crazy year. So I'm quietly confident.
We'll see how we go.
Honestly, like if I had to pick one Japanese player to pick up, I'd pick up Shohei, I think, because I think that like if you look at finals of Japan Nats, like it's not that Kinugawa is like bad at all, right? Like he's a good player still, but like Shohei was easily the more dominant player in that set. Like it was clear like he was like running the games most of the time. And I felt like in the games too, like watching him play, like if he didn't get unlucky in one of the sets, like he would easily have been the, the Japan national champion. And that would have been like a crazy feat considering he's already won worlds. Like he's done super well before. Like I think his string of results and like dominance has been like really impressive for sure.
Well, Mark's drafted him too. So good one, Mark.
Good job, Mark. Very good. Well, no, yes. Thank you so much for your time this evening for us, this morning for you, Joe. We appreciate the huge chunk of time that you've given us and have thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you. For anyone who doesn't know where to find you or maybe looking for coaching, where can they hit you up?
So for coaching, x9academy.com, great place. To get better at Pokemon. For other stuff, JoeUX9 on Twitter, there's or X, I guess. There's I tweet a bunch. That's probably my most active social media besides, that's probably my most active social media. And then I post on YouTube a lot. I also Twitch stream, although I've been streaming a bit less lately because I've been focusing a bit more on world stuff. But I usually post on YouTube pretty consistently. I took a little break because I was in Japan, and I'm going to start posting again from actually today or tomorrow. I don't know, whenever I guess this podcast comes out. But that's pretty much it. I think that's mostly it. Just JoeUX9 on everything, pretty much. You'll find me.
Amazing.
So. If we ever do get OCIC back, or you ever find yourself in Australia competing, we'll probably all be there. And don't worry, the tequila and Coronas are on us.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. The way to my heart. We'll do a live podcast too, right after.
Yes, awesome. Absolutely.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning in, supporting the podcast. If you would like to help us further, please do check out the o2drop.com. It'll redirect you to our subscription page where for $3 American per month, you can assist in the ongoing costs of the O2 Drop, gain access to our Discord server where we play Mafia, we do draft leagues, excellent not safe for work memes,
cash tournaments, just general good vibes in the O2 Drop Discord server. So do consider that if you've enjoyed listening to us today. And until next time, friends.
See y'all.